another one. Hello everyone. How's the sound? Can you hear me? Whew. Hello. Great. Sounds good. It's hot today. It's very hot here. Hello everyone. How are we doing today? So we're getting close to PTR2, and we're getting some very important systems in that big update. We talked a little bit about them before. We get the siege mechanics, the towers defense value, so you can see them and understand them in a much better how they work and affect the actual siege. So we talked about it a few times, but I think it's always good to go through them to refresh the memory and also to make sure that everyone participating in a test knows what the intention and design is behind them. There were a little bit confusion. We do our best when it comes to communicating and covering the manuals and so on, but it's never as exciting to read a lot of text as in playing and figure things out, right? Yeah, shit, I forgot about the announcement. It's been stressful today, so I was a little bit late also, I'm afraid. Let's see if we can make the little update so people know we are running the actual stream. Where the hell do we have it? Okay, here. So one moment, guys. All right. Okay. Lotus with the raid. Thank you and welcome. How's the streaming going? I'm a little bit hot here, so bear with me. Yeah, Alrexion, I missed the stream announcement. I just put it now, so people hopefully catch we are live. All right, not bad. Just finally got a bounty. Awesome, awesome. Anthony HD, stream for a year, has no streamer role. You never add him to the poll at the end. I do add. So I always try to cycle, right? And I'm quite sure I have raided Anthony HD. I see him stream. But obviously, if he fulfilled for our stream role, then obviously our mods should be able to take care of that. So obviously we will get that fixed. And 37 degrees. Holy cow, Angelo, that's hot. Can't be hot in Sweden. Sometimes, but not too often. Yeah, well, 30 degrees in here, and the computer is just heating up the room additionally. No good airflow here, so yeah. So we got the PTR2 up for going to the public test server tomorrow, as you know, Thursday, tomorrow. Oh my god, another one. Another one. Comment man, thank you for the prime. Appreciate it. So we got PTR2 tomorrow. And we have, like as I mentioned, we have the tower defense siege window mechanic system that we talked about last month. So we're gonna test the crap out of that, hopefully in a larger scale with the thanks to you guys. We got the mobile versions finally, really awesome machineries which you use the manpower to move them around. The more people, the faster it moves up to the 4 position max. We also got the 2 groups of elementalism. So we got 20 new spells to play around with, and hopefully you guys will help us make sure the balance is all right and that their functions are working as intended. So we made sure that when it comes to accessing elementalism and the new content, they are on an NPC, very cheap, so you can access them without going out and farm things or solve requirements to get going. So all you need to do is go to the NPC selling those magical regents and books and whatever required, so you can go straight into testing it. You can get a mini patch with clothes and pet armors before TC, please. We won't have the clothes. We do have, I think we have some armor when it comes to pets. We have bags. We have the heavy bags for Camperon and the big, the big boys. But we do have the clothes sets still for the epic patch content. So you can move around the siege machineries as long as you can. Obviously you have to be careful when it comes to slopes falling down. It looks pretty cool when it rumbles down and so on. And obviously you need to fuel the ammo right. So that's where you use the tents. But you can move it around and use it wherever, as long as you have a control. Dry's prison. I'm afraid I haven't had much time to gather anything, but I did tell our guys while they've been testing things on our local test server to try to record some things, some of the new stuff, magic and PTR2 stuff. I'm not sure the status of that. I was hoping we could have a little clip, or we will at least have that clip tomorrow. So you get a little sneak peek of what's to come. Clothing blessed deed. We don't have that at this point, no. Oh my god, another one. IGW, thank you for the subscription. Prime, show me the ice prison. I can't show it right now, I'm afraid. I don't have the setup running. I'm hoping we can get a little clip of it, like I said, and share it either later today or for tomorrow. Yeah, it's the 2 I always forget about the names. But it's not the entities, right? So it's not the elemental familiar group, it's the 2 other groups. So these are the 20 spells in them, and then the final one is the entities, which is the final group of elementalism. We're going to change a randomized location of the supply towers upon launch of TC. Is their location concrete? So this is one other thing that I want to discuss with you a little bit today, just to see how the general indication is. We all know that one of the common thing, you know, it's for good and bad. One of the common thing is when starting playing Mortal 9, you go to this website, right, that has the world map and a lot of information in close to real time, which is really awesome that, you know, our player base, you know, pockets, right, have contributed with. Awesome tool for the players. Obviously, at the same time, we always have to consider if there's a lot of players joining in and they have no clue about these external websites, obviously they suffer a little bit, right, with information and such. So we obviously try to consider what is necessary and good to have in the game. That's also why we made a update on our map, as you notice in PTR1. Very much refined, higher detailed map that shows Myrland. And it also shows the territories growing. There's a delay on it, but it does show territories. And we just, in this bunch, we also added the towers. So we already noted that people have been mapping them out, preparing that. And it's gonna be very quick until most likely those maps online will have them covered, right? And then, you know, it's already there. So why not make it more convenient and, you know, useful for all players that are in the game? So we put the towers on the map so everyone can see them. One of the question mark is though, should only yours be visible as they are now? So you can see obviously the ones you control and you see where the towers are in the world. But should you also see if anyone else is controlling them? So you can see this guild have that and that tower currently. That is a question, if that's something that should happen or not. It does get quite cluttered quickly, yes, with all of this information. So we're trying to add these filters so you can filter for whatever you want to see a little bit more easier, right? Only once you control yourself. Show all. Only ones that collide with your territory, maybe. For sure it should. Yes, I want to see. There is content they get there. People should see if they walk by. Nope. So this is one of the challenges, right? Sometimes we hope that you would make it easier for us when it comes to some of these approaches or different routes. But it's never easy, right? It looks like we are mixed here as well. Some want saving functions, some want it, some doesn't want it. Make a poll. We could make a poll for, you know, trying to make it more concentrated. Good point. I will make a little quick poll here. Okay, I have three responses to it. So the question is, should you see enemy supply towers on the map? Or not see who controls them, only yourself? And the answers are then yes, no, or only if scouter, you know, a specific rule or something. So the poll is started now. Let's run it for 5 minutes. Just to see if we have a strong indication. Will keeps be transferable, or at least give the ability to rename guild names? So the quick answer is currently they are not transferable. It's a guild owning the keep, so whoever owns it, right? We can see the use of being able to trade, right? So it's something we need to add a function for if that's something we absolutely need and want. We always have to prioritize the development in the team, right? So currently you can't trade them as in, you know, a normal trade. So plans are, as we mentioned before, to have a cartography skill where you can have even more refined updates and information on the map, where you can map things, paint things out, just to expand on it. But the timeline we have right now, obviously we can't make that happen during TC and Epic. So obviously we're trying to consider that for the future, right? Whatever we add on the map right now, but I still think the generic information that will be known very quickly within the player base, we may as well share it, right? So currently, yeah, you make it difficult for us. Currently, only if scouted is in majority. Which is interesting. We can only speculate what the majority wants, right? But you never know. Are the veteran system still planned when you spoke about it back in beta, about 200 extra points, what can be allocated in either professional actions? Yes, it's still planned for sometime. My goal is sometime early after Epic, because it adds additional expansion on your character. And a lot of people obviously want more expansion, more development on the characters, more refinement, and some people don't think it's enough skill points and so on. All of that obviously gets covered with that system. We haven't really pinpointed the exact skill number. They work in a specific way, which we're gonna share with you when we are a little bit closer to that system. But I think it's a system that many will benefit from, because it's also like, you know, all veterans learn how to master your character quite quickly, how you get the skills effectively and so on. We have the clade farming that also, you know, make your character fully fledged. And then we have the final step, which is a very more long-term progression. There are some very strong fruits hanging very near, but then as you progress, it gets less efficiency in return. So we would like to have it early on after Epic, so there's more progression for everyone. If Scout is the way things goes, will Scout the Tower information be shared across the guilds? Will players know when Scout the Tower is taken over by a new guild? So obviously so having a Scout system makes it quite more complicated, right? Just displaying them or not displaying them is a very easy switch. So if it comes down that, you know, a little bit as the poll is showing us right now, there's no distinct winner in no or yes, but it actually looks like the majority are more interested in a hybrid version, which is the Scout version. That means there's a few rules that needs to be coded, which obviously also goes into those questions, right? How should it work? If I have Scouts in my guild and they run around nearby every tower, you get the updated information with a timestamp. So this is the last known information, right? Should that be shareable as a command with your ally or something? You know, it can always be expanded like that. But, you know, I would assume the first iteration or step we're looking at is you need to be within its near, you know, so you can identify the tower, right? You see that, okay, this guild is owning it. And then therefore we would be able to pass that information to the guild. And that would be the first step. I mean, it's not that things are too difficult here. You know, the cool thing about Mortal Lion 2 is that we almost have no limitation on what we can create and build and code this time around. We were very much more limited back in the days on Unreal Engine 3 for Mortal 1. And also due to the network solution we had that wasn't really, you know, as built to support more dynamic behaviors. So it all comes down to our prioritized order of things, right? If this is a big thing, so as we can see, only if Scouted won by far, 70%. So that means, you know, we had suspicions that there could be, you know, we weren't sure. So we started out by only showing your towers, right? and all the towers in the world. So that's all you have right now for PTR and currently. And you know, obviously I need to have a meeting with Sebastian, and because we talked about this a few days ago, and we weren't 100% sure. So that's why I thought let's take the opportunity to ask the community on this one to see a general direction. Usually these polls are quite close to the larger scale as well if we were posting it on the forums and Discord and such. So yeah, I need to talk to Sebastian to see if that is something that we can cover in a reasonable time frame, or if it's more about projects. There are very specific ways of how we handle information and packages and how we transfer them to clients and such. So, and we always have to do that in a clever way, so we are making sure that we don't, you know, burden the network servers in a way where we affect our performance and the overall population, right? That's very important. So we always have to build all these things in a very specific way. So, so yeah, I guess I have to have a chat with Sebastian to see what kind of options we have and the time frame for that, right? Send scout crowds to guild HQ to show tower owner. I mean, sure, it can always be pushed into even more crazy functions, right? And additional functions. But we need to, you know, start somewhere and have a certain prioritized order of all these things. Bro, I swear they have one coder per cell. That would you do if you quit? We have more than Sebastian. Luckily, it will be things will be very much slower, obviously, if we didn't have the coder team. But yeah, Sebastian has been here since day one, so he knows everything in the code base and the network, especially the network side, since he's been there since day one, right? So just grabbing a coder and putting it straight into the network section of the game development is always more time consuming and also sensitive. So when it comes to specific network coding, Sebastian is obviously the main guy as well. But the guys that have been with us now for quite a few years obviously are getting really into also that side of the coding part, which is obviously very important, so we can expand on various locations or features simultaneously. Yeah, so we've had 2 severe network issues, as you noted. We have identified why it happens, and we also actually addressed the main issue, which is a specific node goes down in a specific area of the network. And when that happens too many times, our backup system, the backup nodes, goes foobar. And unfortunately, that have happened after the more players going in and out of the game. We approach a certain value when the backup node goes crazy, and that have put us in a bad spot 2 times now. You also notice it when we have additional reboots of the system and so on. The good news is it looks like the coder team is quite confident they have figured out what causes the root cause of the node going down. That is also on PTR2 now, so we're testing that. Now we're not running it as heavily on test that we can confirm it with the population and pressure, as it takes, takes a while before it happens online. But we can make sure that we haven't, made something worse. But they're quite confident that they have fixed that, which means hopefully it won't happen anymore. The second part is to make sure that even though something rare happens, I mean, it's a very long time ago we had a specific node crash And the more we have, it leads to these backup nodes going bad. So the good news is the latest, like, I don't know, for several months at least, have been the exact same node issue crash. And they're confident they fixed it. But the second part to make sure this never happens, because obviously when we are preparing to go live on Epic and we go persistent and we are actually enabling subscription, obviously, as we all understand, we cannot have any major downtime or issues that makes it, pain in the ass, obviously, when people want to play. So the second part to this is that the backup system that also goes bad after X amount of backups, we have identified why that also goes wrong eventually. So the plan is to update that system to make sure that it refresh the backups every time, so it can do that infinitely. So that should, put the server in a very safe, stable situation. Tick, get out of here. If you're not interested, just get out of here, right? A lot of people wanna start playing also, severely with when we do have subscription, because that also means we clean out quite a lot of crap that shouldn't be in the game. So, but obviously we all understand that we need to be on a certain state, stability and such also. Are 2 new LS schools on Arcana or intensification? I can't say for sure. I need to look at the sheets. The names slips my mind, so I can't speak on it until I have looked through the sheets. Subscription gonna be the standardized $14 regional based, so it's under WoW and Evenline's price tag, but the traditional $14. I noticed Eve have increased there by a lot. I was quite shocked it's so much more, but I think WoW is still running the $14.95, right, if I'm not mistaken. Lucky, you're right. The entire game is obviously developed around a sub, and I don't know how many streams we talked about why are we using a subscription model and not pay to win crap, locked content, fool people into paying $5 every few days, and all of a sudden to compete on a normal level you have to pay $150. Crazy nonsense, and rainbows, dresses, and sparkles everywhere with these pay to win and fluffy models. We would hope that we don't have to go that approach this time around, and that people can appreciate a proper game without locked stuff like that. And to our happy response, the majority seem to want that model and support that model, so we're very happy about that. And then of course we need to make sure that we deliver and that people feel it's correct to pay that amount for the game and what they get in return. Hopefully it is, and that will hopefully also allow us to grow, make the game even better, and expand it even faster. Only the future will tell. Yeah, one way to disguise it is battle passes, right? And seasons. That's the new way. We don't have subscription, but every month you have to pay for a new battle pass. Well, what's that? It's interesting how it evolves. I dropped Eve when they went up in pricing. The content they added didn't justify the increase. I was surprised they increased it that much. I mean, how much is it now? I don't remember, but wow, yeah, quite the jump up. And yeah, I mean, I played EVE Online on and off over the years. I haven't been able to jump in at all the latest years, as I've been busy with Mortal, obviously. But I was always surprised that it got its core features, you know, crafting, trading, mining, and fighting, and building base, running the corporation, and that's it, right? For all those years, there were never new big features that were added. And you know, when we started working on Mortal Online, I was always surprised. Why are they not pushing it forward? Why are they not expanding? What are they focusing on? I mean, feature-wise, we have 50 more features than them, even though we have been working on the game way less. I was always, you know, wondering why that is. Classic, yeah. Just a minute ago, I commented on the server issues we had the last 2 weeks. I guess you just missed it. Big Henny, you're a legend, making the Star Wars Galaxies community proud. That was a really nice game. So, and obviously, as you recognize some of it, right? We were very inspired by that game. So if you ever enjoyed Ultima Online or Star Wars Galaxies, you can be sure that Mortal Online has something very similar to offer, without a doubt. Small game's gonna chicka-boom once TC out. Lol, unlucky. So one other thing, we saw people siege quite efficiently and brutally during PTR, right? Taking down keeps and buildings. Really good testing scenarios and giving us a lot of data. But with that said, we, you know, commented that, look, you have to consider that we're not playing with the siege window mechanics at all. And we also fine-tune some of the hit points and defense values so they work well with this system. And that's what you are getting on PTR tomorrow, PTR 2. So you will notice and you will see the defense values, right? So if you just have a house, stronghold, or a keep, there is a specific defense and hit points, you know, the one you always see. And that's it, right? And that means anyone can go there and start sieging and destroying those assets. But as soon as you build a storehouse, if you make sure you have the supply lines as a keep owner, and then you can start claiming supply towers in the world, you will notice that over time your defense value goes up. It goes up quite quickly when you have built these and captured these, and when someone else and that this means you can go above 100% in defense value, which means you can't just be ninja siege over the night. This was a huge issue and complaint in the first game, and as you can imagine how bad that felt for the players, waking up, bam, everything gone, didn't have a clue, and you have everything invested, all gone. Obviously that group took a long break from the game, which isn't good for anything, right? Not fun for the players, not good for the game, and less population. As we can understand, that was a big issue, right? And that's why we talked about siege system windows, timers, and so on. Community have, you know, given a lot of feedback on it also, and a suggestion looking at other games. But we found a way where we think this is very much Mortal Online, and it's a very nice hybrid. So as I mentioned, if you build your storehouse, supply lines, or towers, you can go well above 100 defense. And whenever someone destroys these buildings, it goes slowly down over time, which means you could make a rough estimate or calculate that, okay, we have this much defense, so if we are away from the game this many hours or days, if this all, you know, gets broken, it takes this many hours or so until, you know, you start taking some serious damage in a siege. So that is our hybrid siege window system. And this is what you're going to be able to experience and test tomorrow. So that's a very important component. We want to make sure that Ninja sieges are, controllable pretty much, and they can be avoided. So we are gonna obviously dig deep into this. We have a draft on the numbers. Hopefully, they're not too far away for where they need to be. And we're gonna gather all the feedback and data that you give us starting tomorrow. So that's a very important component to consider. We noticed the confusion a little bit with siege damage, how long it takes, and about the towers. Did I lose a tower? What does it mean? What does it do to defense value? Obviously, not having a clear feedback in the UI and such, it was impossible to test that component, right? So you're getting that part tomorrow. So you will directly be able to see your defense values when you build this component. All right, let's see. We do need a customizable clan banner, and that is, we were hoping we were able to push it for around TC or Epic, but it's quite a system and we can't just rush it because that's a really cool system that needs to be solid, right? So we will have to put that, early after, because we really want it and we know you need it and want it also. The Crim system update comes with the Epic patch. No siege windows, alarm clocks, OPs. I think it's a really good system that really, solves that main problem that we suffer from in Mortal 1. And I think you all agree that it's a much improvement and more fair game and more fun game, because that promotes, conflicts. It could be small skirmishes, it could be instant, because you get these alerts, right? So I think it's also going to promote more hit and run, small clashes, small wars. Then obviously, if you're really planning to wipe someone out from the map, you need to coordinate that, good, effectively, to be able to pull it off in an efficient way. You can also always do it the hard way, but there's also a more efficient way, obviously. So one of the problems also when it comes to I talked about this a little bit before as well. So when it comes to support, server support information and updates, obviously we have seen where we are lacking in this area, where we have weakness, where we absolutely have to improve this as well to be in a good level, especially for Epic Game release as well. And that is why we have hired an external engineer coder team that are building a new big backend system for us that are connecting a lot of important things and information. So, the entire network setup, as I mentioned before, Sebastian have been part of that, building that project for many, many years, right? And for new coders to jump into that, even though, if they are on a late call to assist with that, or if there's any server problems, if they don't, understand how it works, and they, risks corrupting something or messing up something even worse, we need to reach some of those senior coders that are more experienced or know how those parts works. And obviously that's a big issue if someone is on vacation or away or whatever that may be. So obviously we can't rely on such risk, right? So one of the things is that we are building these systems in the new backend system as well, to be able to do specific commands and control certain areas on the server farm setup to control this in a much better way as well. So last 2 weeks identified that greatly for us. So we know absolutely where we need to, how we need to add this in the backend system. So everything, you know, slowly approaching both TC and Epic to be in a as secure, stable position as possible. Subscription plus veteran system and the infinite grind for more primary points will be good for the game in long term. Yeah, so a lot of people expressed, and I also noticed that from a lot of players that you know, they would like to expand further their RPG character development, right? And that's really where the veteran system comes into play. The veteran system gonna be infinite, but that doesn't mean that you will, you know, if you just crunch in 1,000 hours, you now have all skills in the world. It will never be like that, right? But you will be able to slowly expand your character in certain ways, and also add to that a veteran level coolness factor. So yeah, we know how important that is, that, you know, longer progression and development and investment in your character. We're gonna play Mortal in Paris. I tried in Rome, but the net cafes have shitty computers. Oh my, you don't have a home computer. I think it's a hard commitment to play on internet cafes, because, you know, this is a long-term game investment, right? I heard that you can break a tier 2 stronghold for less than it costs to build. So that is part of the balance, right? So in PTR 1, you didn't have the defense component. So we could only test the entire sieging, right? Destroying sieging using the siege machines. Tomorrow, you will have the defense mechanics. So we urge you to test that, you know, build up your defense, and test sieging, and, you know, we may assist, as we did a little bit last time, to contribute with things, but we're also adding NPCs and such to help a little bit with speed up the process. So you will have eyes on the defense mechanics this time around. So it 100% depends on this. If you don't have any defense whatsoever, it's gonna be faster to siege something and destroy something. So you do want to build up the defense value, and everyone, including the house owner, can start constructing a storehouse to buff that defense value very high. So to siege that, you first want to remove the storehouse, or it's just going to be much higher defense value overall. Henrik, please see me. We need equipment coloring Ryza Crate Raid event on settlements. More live event on map. Yeah. We know. We will have guild banner, guild logo, emblem design system, and the dice system, right? And we do plan to have the invasion system activated again sometime after Epic. So there are ongoing wars to participate or avoid on Mirland. Do you plan on adding gameplay loops for medium to small groups, or will it just be TC and that's really it? No, so obviously, as we mentioned before, we know that solo and small groups is a big part of players in these games. Even though, you know, there's heavy focus on player interaction, that doesn't mean obviously as a solo player can get around and have that kind of interaction with other players, right? I mean, we have some of them. Just look at Jake Sully. All been a solo player for majority of his gaming sessions, and quite effectively so. So we know how important it is. I mean, we see daily, a little bit more casual solo players in small groups, 2-3 friends find a game and start playing together. And we know how important that is, that there is a lot of content for small groups. So when it comes to when we're adding dynamic spawners and interest points and such, the majority of those are solo and small groups content, I would say. We obviously want to make sure also that there are higher challenges for larger groups and dungeons that are also should be very difficult to fully beat and fully discover. We're going to add quite a few more of those also over time, from easy dungeon locations to extreme nightmare level. So yes, absolutely. I would say that we add more and more variation of solo content currently in almost every world update. And we have a very huge patch content-wise with the Epic Game patch Unreal 5, which means we're going to have a few thousands dynamic spawners and things to discover. And I would say that the majority of them are absolutely viable for small groups. When we snow start accumulating on armor and other objects. Yeah, so that's a lot of cool fluff, right? We have some preparation done that we support season-based weather where it actually accumulates on ground and roof. But there's a few things that also needs to be built, and it also comes down to performance, which is always number one. If we don't do these things in a very clever, good way, slowly but steadily, we are making performance worse. And we are not fully finished with our performance bar where we want it to be when it comes to character cost and the world and city costs. We're working on that heavily now, along with Unreal 5. So our goal is that when we deliver Unreal 5 patch for you guys, you're gonna obviously you're gonna see a much smoother transition running around in the world. These level streaming we always talk about. A lot of people call them node lines, but they are called level streaming. Those are quite horrible when you experience them in the wrong timing, right? That's when your computer freezes or have very heavy lag on those specific lines. So those, we're focusing on resolving those, making sure it's as smooth as possible. And also the overall FPS, especially in main cities where you have quite poor FPS. We work on making sure that there will be a improvement. And then of course we are giving it the tools to enable lumens and such, so it can look insanely realistic. Then we can continue expanding on fluff, eye candy, cool stuff that makes sense. If there's a big desire for us to expand on it. There's a few things such as accumulating water, snow and such in areas, and the other is damn, what was it? Fuck. Like cutting down trees and such, and you actually see the trees falling down. We can do all those functions, but it all comes down, is it the right timing right now? Is it, prioritized? Does a lot of people want it? That is the determining factor when it could be a good time to look into those. I mean, there's a long list of really cool things we would like to add. It all comes down to in what order. For instance, there's a small, maybe not very small, but extremely cool feature that will instantly make a huge impact to the experience and immersive level when it comes to wandering the world. For instance, we call it, it's like our creep system. So that means you will be able to see small critter, all kind of animals from very small to a little bit larger, but there are different types of identities, like a squirrel, climbing up a tree, and it's still interactable. So we can have an army of these. We can have like a swarm of spiders, squirrels, small birds, whatever small animals that you can still interact with. You can squash them or even hit them with your bow or blade, and you can still loot them and obtain things from it. But imagine we have a way where we can add this creature system that it doesn't have to be a normal avatar on the server that is quite costful. So we can do it in a clever way where it almost doesn't cost anything, and we can have a swarm of them. So if you go into the jungle, you can have beetle bugs and small things crawling all over the jungle, and it just looks insane, and it doesn't have a network impact. So, I mean, imagine that spread out in the entire world, just having a lot of wildlife, and they can climb very cool up on a tree, and you can try to hit it with an arrow. So only that system, I think, would bring a lot of immersive level and cool life to the world. So there's a lot of those cool features that are just on standby. It all depends on what order of things do we approach these features. So this is why we think it's an excellent thing to open up that roadmap community interaction debate, so you can help us pointing out those features that should be here earlier than later. We haven't fully fixed the guild issue list Swart TV. We have identified it from old guild issue functions, and we have some possible ways where we can solve it, where we refresh those old guilds. So we are slowly progressing. Obviously, again, we know how important it is. There's quite a few of those large guilds that suffer from these bugs and issues. So we have set our mind, obviously we set it up to make sure that we have this solved for when we go live with TC. But they need more time, and they need to pick a approach, how we solve it. I need money. What about taxes? Taxes is coming with PTR 2. So if you have a lot of citizens in your area of influence, you are getting your share of the taxes along with the nation. Timon, if there's any, issues when it comes to bans, accusation, or anything like that, there are several areas where it's the right way to do it. Obviously, starting with our GMs or the support team, or Romo is an option, as a community manager. And if they have lack of information or anything that are unsure, they also bring it up eventually with some of our developers that also go a little bit deeper to see what could be the case here, to make sure that the staff team can make the right decision. So obviously this is also something we're expanding on, and there can be mistakes done. I have no clue what, when it comes to this case. But like I said, the right way and the right approach to try to have a communication is not by demanding things left and right, or making threats to put things on YouTube and talk crap about things. That is nothing we, gonna work with. So the right way is to try to remain calm and pass the information to our team, and give them some time to go through it. If they don't know what's going on, they will have a meeting with the developers that will look deeper into it. That's all I can say here. Bad hair day, Charlie, god damn it, I was in a rush. Indeed. Yeah, I think we got to learn Ogmir as just writing those things and then disappear for a while, or I don't know. I thought he quit as well. Good luck to you. Hope to make a turn on. Yeah, have a great day and have fun in Rust. It's a great game. I like that. But I don't think Mortal 9 is a game for you. I can see that. And that's fine, right? Mortal 9 is not for everyone. So, yeah, enjoy Rust. It's an awesome game. Yes, crawling hand will now make you criminal. Elemental bombing and then pulling out the loot in cities is unfortunate. We don't... that's not intended, right? So we're gonna change that. So we already have it on PTR2. Crawling hand should make you criminal, if I'm not mistaken. So you can't just pull it as a blue player anymore. Currently, you're not gaining prominence by chopping or mining only. No, we're looking to, there could be many, reasonable ways on expanding how you can gain prominence, right? We want to offer it in a few different areas, everything from PvE to trading interactions to PvP to a degree. So again, we just put the core in place with the main system. And then this entire TC system can be expanded into infinity, more and more buildings, more and more services, more and more features tied to it. So this is just the beginning of TC, right? Ogmir, don't be a biatch in here and talk crap like that. Then I'm gonna help you to get out from this game and community. I just respond to this guy personally, how he should go about getting assistance with his case. And since no one knows the entire picture, and the entire picture usually looks a little bit different, and I want to be nice and refrain from not going into any of that detail, but there's always a big picture, and sometimes all information is not on the table. That's why I told him nicely to contact one of those, and they will go through it and eventually go through it with a developer if that is required. A common case, sadly, is that the person that submits something are not happy with the response, which is fully understandable. But even though, if we have something that is facts and we have to, point on that and, remain on that, still, sometimes we're not happy with that response, but that doesn't change the fact or outcome, right? So we need to be following logic and, data and try to be professional here. Yes, that is one of the main points. I did comment on the server what we're doing and what is happening and so on, to make sure we are on a reliable, stable state as soon as possible and absolutely ready for TC and Epic later. Yeah, Mortal 9 2 is superior Mortal 1 in every single way. But nostalgia is strong 10 years ago, that's for sure. We call the hand be cream outside of PTR2. Yes, everything you experience on PTR2 will move over to live when we patch TC. So there's a long list of things. Yeah, okay. So goodbye then. We have heard people say goodbye now. Will the keep gate have a certain guild rank to open it? Yes, I think so. I have to look into it. I am not sure if we've done any changes or not. With that said, we have a nice little surprise for you keep owners out there, and it's all about the gates. Are you ready for it? Are you ready for it? Are you ready for it? Yeah, we will see if we can make pulling a blue bag criminal offense while pulling a gray not criminal offense. It requires a new update to the system. So for us to kind of prevent the chaos bombing in cities, making people upset, we add this crim tag for now, right? Yeah, thank you for banning Army, actually. What a rude, nasty person. He shouldn't even be playing our game. The game is too good for him. So, good call. Let's enjoy our conversation in a more adult way in here, guys. Yeah. Been playing on the shady side for a while, I guess. And when getting caught, you know. And hell, how the hell did they get 500 fake viewers on stream? Yeah, just rotten to the bone, you know? Rotten to the bone. Let's hear it. Okay, so the keep gates. I got another one. Surg TV. Thank you for the Prime. Appreciate it. Thanks, coffee. Some people never learn, right? They're just on edge and should be very happy to not have been whacked and then still going on like a crappy shitty. Yeah. Perma gone. Biash. Alright. So before I lose track of what I was gonna say about the keep gate. So we'll listen to your feedback, guys, when it comes to those gates. So we made kind of what everyone was building anyway in Mortal 1 to make those, how do you call it, the passage gates, where you have like a sluice, right? Where you can go in, close behind you, and then go in the second gate. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. Kill box. Yeah, I think people call it the kill box or airlock. Yeah, that's correct. So we added a airlock kill box gate function for the keep locations as desired. So that is coming tomorrow on PTR2, if I'm not mistaken. So you can a little bit more calmly get people in. Leroy, yeah, he's been talking a lot of crap and just make up stuff and was mad when there are some consequences, and then do what a lot of people do when they are not happy with certain response and start making even more stores in crap movies. And you know, that's perfectly fine. That's, you can't, you know, prevent anyone from spending time on whatever they want, right? But we're trying to run a company in a game, and we have a lot of, you know, serious people and players that want to contribute and play and be part of this, which we greatly appreciate. So obviously we want to invest our time into this, which is very valuable. And when we see people are just crapping on all of us, then I don't think it's suitable to keep. Hustler TV. Why are you even asking that when you say mortal is dying? It sounds like you're not committing, right? Sometimes I don't understand the turnarounds on the questions. AI NPCs in the game like the AI mod in Skyrim. Jack of no trades. You will see what we have for plans with the epic patch. All right. It's gonna be some sweet juice. It costs so much. Nah, we have some sweet juice in the making. So just wait. I think is the kill box an upgrade or is it not included? It should be an upgrade. So you have exactly what it is now, and then you can add this additional box on the inside. No, outside, I think. Outside. The spin meta may change when we add adrenaline system, which is the special ability moves, and we also plan along with that try to reduce the threshold a little bit. We have a very generous spin. If you compare to Mordhau and Etochiver in those games, we are more loose than they are when it comes to spin without any restriction. So we think it's a good opportunity to add those special moves and components along with tightening that up also. So let's see how combat may evolve forward along with those mechanics. Wait, what are you going to do? What was your previous question? AI. Yeah, we will present that soon. We have some cool stuff. Ramping up for Unreal 5 and Epic. So we will show you a little bit of that soon enough. Can we have the new combat change gun test server first? Yes, absolutely. So the PTR are here to stay, right? So whenever we have a new feature, we plan to put it there and allow you to test it and hopefully help us find any issues or bad balance, right? Hey, Nazori. How much subscription going to be? The traditional $14 regional based. And a release date for Unreal 5 batch? No, we don't have a public date yet. We have an internal date, which we are still on track on. And soon enough, we will reveal that also publicly. Will there ever be in-game musical instrument? Yes, there will be an entire devoted magic school that also ties into instruments. So you will be able to play different instruments in a very cool design feature way, where you can play almost real time your own melodies. And there's a harmonism bardic magic school which rely on these tools and instruments. So absolutely, it all comes down to which magic schools the majority wants next. There are some really cool magic schools that we're gonna have. Yeah, I heard Final Fantasy had a really cool music system. Mats, which is one of our genius game designers also on building a lot of complicated systems. He have a better idea, an even cooler system than that. And when he say that, he's usually right. So we will see how we can make our system. Sometime always, or every now and then me and Sebastian have to hold him back a little bit because he goes so deep, and sometimes very, very create very awesome, cool systems. but sometimes it may be a little overdone, so people just blown away and can't cope at all. So we try to find that sweet spot, right? So we don't spend too much. Yeah, you know what I mean. Will the musical instruments be able to play it outside of casting magic? Yes, absolutely. So, you know, my final vision, or not final, I would say, near future vision when it comes to entering a bar, you know, a tavern. Just go in there, sit down on a chair with strangers or with some friends, and I pull up my pipe, I smoke a little bit, and I use my high secondary smoking skills to make this amazing pattern with the smoke, just to show everyone I notice the advanced smoking skills, how to make stuff with the smoke, just to impress everyone in the room. And they all wonder, how the hell did I learn those skills? On my adventure, there are rare drops in the world that allow me to do these crazy fluffy things, right? Not primary in this case. And then, you know, why not play some board games, some Texas Hold'em, so I can make a little profit from my new friends in the tavern. And I can use my webcam to do FOIP, facial recognition mocap, kinda, that I also showed a little bit when I did a Thursar stream long time ago. And you know, why not experience all that in first person VR and just be blown away immersively, enjoy my time. And of course, in the corner we need some music, right? Who can play the guitar and can play something like Diablo, you know, the old, or something from Ultima Line, even better, something nostalgic, and play it for us in the room. How cool was that? So holy shit, they're freaking playing the Ultima Line tunes when we're sitting there smoking the pipe, playing games, and you know, enjoying and relaxing. That's this. It's just a question of when we will get these components, right? Kind of pipe smoke with a ship, exactly. You got it, Laurel. First game should be chess. We actually have a client finished part when it comes to blackjack. So we need to build a network function as well, and we can play blackjack. Everyone knows blackjack. Isn't Jake in here? He's the master blackjack player. That loot line from UO, indeed. I can play Ultima Stones on my guitar, just saying. Sovereign, so you're gonna be there then with the guitar or lute, and go at it, man. Go at it. Show us live performance. An idea on having some NI time zone game also, so when the server crashes on NI night time, someone could work on a fix instead of playing and having to wait until you wakes up. So I talked about this problem a little bit earlier today. Obviously, we are very keen on making sure that we have minimum downtime in our persistent world, and obviously, you know, we need to have that 100% in a position, especially when a subscription is enabled, right? We know how important this is. We do have game masters available 24/7 at all time zones. However, we do lack specific backend tools, and this is exactly what we're building. So, as I mentioned before, we have hired an engineering team that are building this backend system for us that integrates with our network. So that will absolutely be improved and make sure we have more manpower, you know, in all time zones, just like you said, to make sure we can cope with any such issue that may occur. Just copy RDR2 blackjack. Yeah, so like I said, we can actually play blackjack right now in game on the client side, but it's not connected with the network side, so it's not synced between the players. Obviously, we want to cover that part, and then we will have blackjack in taverns in a patch. We suggest the devs to take a look at Rust instruments. They let you hook up real-world instruments through MIDI controllers, and it plays the notes in game. Yes, and that's exactly what Mats was on as well. He wanna make the coolest instrument game ever seen in any online game, and he can, he's really good when it comes to designing those kind of things. So, but we always have to make sure we don't go too crazy and spend crazy amount of efforts into that system, or stealing too much of performance or any cost anywhere. But yeah, we want a really cool musical instrument system without a doubt. I mean, it's a fitting feature in this universe, right? Jim Basta, one of the best, to be honest. He always at time and ready to help everyone. I mean, obviously we have a very high goal and standard to make sure that we give all the necessary tools to our GMs and have them all educated and up to date. And I know they're all doing everything they can with the tools they have, and this is again one of the reasons why we are building a new backend system. We have identified all the weaknesses and issues where a player, may suffer for lack of tools, so the GMs sadly cannot fully assist in all the cases. And this is important, right? So we are making sure we expand this area so they have even better tools and eyes and can help with anything that may happen. Want to hurdy-gurdy? What? Don't know if you're aware, but Final Fantasy 14 did the instrument thing, and everybody can play any music. They had to forbid everyone from playing real songs, otherwise the company risks huge copyrights. Yeah, obviously, when it comes to that, we need to look into that also legal-wise, so we make sure that, we don't get in a bad situation where we have to kill such function, right? Please consider giving the GMs more time to handle tickets. I don't think we'll limit any GM on ticket timing. It's just that, they do what they can and they try to move on. And there are some different degrees on them where there may be some newer GMs that are under education time that takes the simpler cases, and then they elevate some of the more complicated situations to more senior GMs that require more investigation and insight. But we don't really have a specific timeline on the tickets. We just want to make sure that they all get a response within a reasonable time frame, right? What the hell? Would you thoroughly craft a bit on a rate of influx and people leaving, why they leave, and so on? We have new players constantly, but population stays similar. Badubin, yes, that is correct, and that is a very big, very important point when it comes to the entire project and company, right? So we have looked into how new player experience the game, how long they remain on Haven, and where they go next, and what happened next. And that is a very big, how do I say it? It's like a lottery, right? So depending on what city they choose, first of all, is a big impact on the outcome of things. Who they run into is a big impact. If they get recruited by a guild, it's a very big impact. And if they just, casually walks out in the wild to explore, that is a big impact. So Epic Games patch have one big component in it, and this is exactly that one. We need to make sure that a new player get a fair chance, proper introduction, and some proper security within reason that the game can offer. And we want to promote tools that allows them to communicate and interact with other groups, find other groups, interact with them, and recruit each others. Recruitment, we notice, is one of the most powerful tools in this game for a new player to become a long-term player. There's a huge percentage on anyone that gets recruited, they become a mortal player. So obviously, a lot thanks to you guys when you are nice enough to help new players, recruit new players. That is a big game changer when it comes to that outcome. But as mentioned before, there's a lot of solo casual players that want to take their time. They don't want to feel the pressure or stress that they need to sit and talk to someone stranger. They want to relax. They want to figure things out first to see the depth. And then finally, there's a slow approach where I feel I'm ready now. I wanna reach the next level. I wanna get good. I wanna participate in fights and so on. And that's when they reach out. They write on the forum, or write on Discord, where do I find a good guild, right? You see that every now and then. That's when people tell them, go to the forum or the guild recruitment and so on. And it has gone quite far to reach this point, right? And they have, one of the things is also the majority of our players never go to the Discord or forums, believe it or not. Which means if they haven't found any of this on their own adventure in the game, there's a good chance they take a break or forgot about the game or leave the game, right? So that is why we need to have proper tools, proper introduction, so this doesn't get randomly put to chances, right? We don't want it to be a lottery. So there's a big component that we are focused on with the Epic patch, which will hopefully completely change this experience for new players. And hopefully we will see the result of that being a huge difference also for new players to actually becoming a mortal player long term. And hopefully that have a very positive impact on the global population and growth. So yeah, absolutely, that is a very important question and extremely important that we address it. So it's a little bit reversed, right? It's also taken some time to identify all these steps and make the proper research and build those components that is required or give us most bang for the buck when it comes to helping with this situation. But we also have the current long-term players, which is quite a good amount, but they may be waiting for certain patches or content, such as TC is a big one. So that's why we absolutely need to deliver TC a long-term feature for anyone. And then we follow up on the Epic patch that will heavily help new player interaction experience. Saying the word solo player just sets people up for failure. Most games are really competitive these days, and if there's no limit on group, you need to get as many people together ASAP to even play the game properly. And can't learn it if by yourself, just wrecked again and again. Yeah, I mean, of course, depends how do we interpret solo player. I read a lot of research coming from giant publisher and companies when it comes to solo players in general, even in online games, which is very interesting. There's a huge player base that are casual. They don't want to feel the stress of being a part in a group initially, especially, and they still really enjoy traveling and experiencing this wild world where there are random people and things happening all over the world, and it's a unique, cool experience. But yeah, if if our game is quite hardcore compared to most other online games, right? So just, you know, thinking that, well, they read up about the game, they know what to expect, and, you know, the chances handles the rest. That would be poor business for us developers building Mortal Online. I mean, we all, most in here, I would say, knows how to play Mortal, knows how to, you know, avoid big failure or setbacks to a degree, right? And also know why that is an enjoyment. You know, there's a risk consequence, risk reward, and it demands quite a bit from you as a person to play it, right? You can't just sit with one hand relaxed and venture out and think there's no danger because you are level 60 and you're running around in a level 50 area, right? It doesn't happen. So we need to make sure that we get a proper introduction and experience for these new players so they can get a fair chance. Okay, shit, this is cool. You know, it doesn't matter if I die and lose my gear because I can craft my own or I can buy from the market. And that's fairly easy and cheap, you know, as long as I have at least one way of making some decent money. You know, most new player can reach that point fairly easily if we just give them a small little hint of direction, right? Supposed to play solo for sure, but we need to encourage the groups and be more inviting. Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, one of the biggest factor now, if a new player becomes a long-term player, is when they approach current players and they start talk, and then, hey, you wanna join our group or whatever, or guild? And if that happens, bam, you know, there's a huge change from that player becoming a long-term player. So obviously we want to promote that, right? We want to promote nice player interaction and offer tools like these notice board we mentioned, where a new player and guilds can recruit and interact using these notice boards. So we want to put these notice boards on both Haven and in all starting cities. So a player shouldn't have to go so far that they reach Discord to ask, where can I find a guild, right? They should be able to find this quite easily within a new player experience in the game, right? Because that will help tremendously. So if they're more into PvP, they can find PvP-oriented guilds, or if they're more into PvE guilds or whatever, crafting, trading guilds, they can try to find those guilds in-game efficiently and get in touch with each others. So yeah, I'm sure you've seen the post, you know, some of the updates for PTR2 starting tomorrow, what we want you to focus on and test and give feedback on. I think we also in the last minute got the rubble system we talked about, the decay system. Hopefully that is in a proper state as well, so we can test and get feedback on that also when it comes to balanced numbers and you know, tweaking everything. Same goes for the defense values on the siege window system. So now, as you know, when you have the information and have eyes on how it works, I think that will help us to pinpoint the sweet spot when it comes to numbers. We always think it's important to be on the safer side rather than a risky, unsafe side, especially initially, because sometimes it takes a while until we find a effective tactic on something, right? And we don't want everyone to be destroyed and, you know, too easy and bam, everything gone, and it's exhausting for everyone that was involved and we lost everything. So it's safer to be on the other side of that spectrum, and then we can, you know, carefully tweak the numbers to be in a good spot. As I mentioned many times, there's quite a few people that are aware that now they, as a solo or casual, a small group of friends are playing and running their houses or upgraded to Stronghold. They're a little bit worried that, okay, does TC patch day means we're going to be wiped overnight and we go back and everything is gone. And, you know, I'm trying to convey that that is not the design and vision. We want to make sure that there are some, you know, there needs to be an investment and efforts in just randomly blow someone up. We already know, right, there are guilds and alliances in war and conflicts that are ready to bash at each other's, and that's obviously a valid reason to go at it full strength, right? But as you know, we need to find those sweet spots where there's a good challenge and proper tactic and, you know, coordinated events. If you do that correctly, you know, you can do a successful siege. If you are poorly at doing that and get disturbed by opposing threats, then obviously, you know, your offensive attack should be cancelled due to lack of preparation or coordination or whatever that may be. So it's going to be interesting starting tomorrow. It's a very important component that we're going to analyze. Steintrolls. All right. Time is flying. I'm trying to hold them at 2 hours, as you know, guys. So I think, yeah, I think I covered both the introduction and PTR2 in general, right? One moment here. What the hell is this? Time for a rig giveaway. All right, I started a sign up for giveaway, so exclamation mark MO2, so we can get that going before it gets too late. Yes. I commented on the server situation we had the 2 last weeks, the issue causing it, and what we have done. And it looks like the coders are confident we actually fixed that specific crash. And we also have the long-term solution when it comes to updating the backup system that can handle those types of crashes better automatically. And the final step is we are building a backend system, or I would say we have hired an external development team that are building a backend system that allows us to have much more efficient tools, and also allow our GMs to have access to specific tools that can help when those kind of situation may occur. So absolutely very important, high prioritized order of those things, so we make sure that uptime should always be respected. Obviously that's a requirement, right, when a subscription gets enabled later on with Epic Patch. Airlock preview. I'm checking right now if I have anything to show when it comes to these things. I'm gonna see. We plan to have a little video tease at least for some of this, along with launching PTR tomorrow. Getting some updates here left and right when it comes to PTR and stuff. No, we continue on PTR1. So whatever you've done in PTR1 when it comes to building, etc., that is all paused since we stopped PTR1. Now when we stop PTR2, everything continue as you were on PTR1. So you can continue that progress, and you will just get the new stuff in PTR2. So it seems like someone in here, did someone ask about if we have dice game function? Seems like we have a little thing on PTR where you can actually throw a dice and locally you will see the dice outcome. So a little cool thing. You can play some dices. So it seems like that's coming. Strong upkeep bug be fixed. Right now I've been paying double upkeep on a T2 strong for 2 months. Yeah, we know about some of those NPC upkeep issues and bugs, and it's obviously very important that we solve the guild bugs and the current upkeep bugs. Obviously we can't have those going on. We fully understand those are frustrating, and we're working on them. Why is gold one of the 2 currencies used for the new system? You have said before that gold won't be used as a currency to TC at all. No, I mean that gold isn't the only factor. So you can't just go at it and build and do anything when TC goes live. You need the prominence currency, right? But you still need gold. We always need gold sinks, as you all know. And that is always a challenge to make sure we have a proper value and economy in the game. So obviously it makes sense to hire, services to buy things also cost gold, right? But having the prominence currency is also a way for us to add additional value, economy, and security along with the gold. So it's an important part to, tie into the whole TC system. Indeed, Brazil. Shrimp to the game, eh? They want some shrimps. I think we have some shrimps already. You can fish them up, if I'm not mistaken. Don't we have shrimp? Plans to TC release end of month. So we have one final PTR after this one tomorrow, the PTR 3, which we're gonna announce shortly after PTR 2. And that's gonna be a final make sure test balance, and also we wanna stress the network. I forgot about say this, so this is good that you reminded me. So we're starting PTR tomorrow, right? Thursday. But we are planning to do a specific update on Friday on the PTR server. And that is our missing network optimization components. So I already want to pre-flag and warn that could be a little bit chaotic. There could be crashes, there could be anything that goes along with that update. So that's planned and intended, but we needed to, we need to cover it there because we can't do it on a smaller scale. We need your help to do that. And we will, along with that, work with the server and monitor everything. So hopefully, because we know there's an issue and we have our clues and we may have solved it, but there may be something else. So we want to make sure that we run through that heavily also and test it. And yeah, just make sure we have it under control. And then we will also do this final PTR 3 where we're going to invite more people to test the game and just help with overall stress. They can play the game for free and so on. So we may do something similar as we did in the stress test, if you remember that, when we got a lot of people showing up. We managed to crash MMORPG.com's website when we invited the people. We are looking to do something similar because we want some stress on this new network. So, and that will also give us very important data and numbers, so we can make a perfect plan for the Epic release based on that. So, so yeah, I just wanted to mention that Friday is reserved to some chaos initially, most likely, but it's important we cover it there, right, in a test scenario, rather than when we push it live. What happens when someone destroys a house when TC launches on live? So tomorrow you're gonna be able to test that as well. So when you currently, if you destroy something, it just vanishes, right? There's nothing left. But when you destroy something in tomorrow's patch, it goes into rubble state, and that is the same system we have had in Mortal 1 forever. So it goes in a state where you can still go there and access whatever you had in the house. And there's a grace period where the owners can try to obtain some of this, and after a certain moment it goes free for all, which means, you know, anyone can start looting. How does your patches even find the live server? What do you mean? Yeah, we're planning to revisit some of the necro magic spells. There are some convenient quality of life updates when it comes to casting follow control. Some unnecessary annoying step, I think, that we could refine. Do you feel change ritualism to be easier available made everyone being a ritualism Jedi now? What? Oh my god. You guys find resolution for hitches and so on during PTR1? Yeah, we believe we found some cause of those additional hitches. And I have to confirm that has been addressed, because that was one of the things that should be addressed, and I think it is. So hopefully we can have a confirmation as well on this tomorrow. How long does the house rubble stay after it's destroyed? I don't have the exact numbers after when it goes to the different steps. There is an initial currently on PTR2 that was the same in the Mortal 1, which is 48 hours. Then it goes to a free-for-all state for additional, I don't know, a few days. And then the rubbles decays away. Should be taking a keep as a solo, just like Rust. Joking. Yeah, I mean, obviously we have a lot of similarities to some of those games, right? But it's also important that we remember that it's a persistent MMORPG game with a real life world, thousands of players. So obviously we need to consider that we can't just have a deathmatch in and out, quick up, quick down, you know, more investment, more stake, more risk reward, more excitement, more adrenaline rush, more everything, right? So it comes along with specific game rules compared to that are obviously a little bit different than some of those more in-out games. 48 hours, cool. A few days, cool. Thanks, good system. Yeah, I mean, so obviously the numbers can be tweaked, right? But we know what negative, huge total loss impact does to the majority of the players. And we all have one goal in common here, obviously, right? And that is to make sure that the player population is at a steady growth, so we can have more enjoyment and cool things to experience in the game. And housing is a huge deal for a majority of players, I would say. Sooner or later, you know, even solo and casual players wanna go into that area. Just like in Ultima Line, housing was one of the most popular system. And even though you couldn't siege at all there, and you also collected on rares, the harsh thing was that your upkeep was 1 week in Ultima Line. So if you had vacation in 2 weeks and you forgot about upkeep, bam, all gone. That was quite harsh. We have what, 2 months, 1-2 months. So we're a little bit more generous there because we want people to be able to take some vacation, right, without panicking. But also in our game, we want to promote collectibles, rares, and trades, and display them. And the only way to promote those very large popular features and content is by having some mechanics that you can rely on in a somewhat safe way, and then you also know the consequences where there may be a risk, right? So we can get use of the functions. 10 days, my house just got deleted. Oh well. So we are making sure that there's this confusion when people are using NPCs and so on. The upkeep changes, right? And we want to make sure that there's no confusion and the time is always the same. We even try to find new ways to remind people about that, because, you know, it's easy to forget about upkeep sometimes. So we want to see if we can add it like on a login or a warning timer or clock, so you get information when it's time. You know, it's running low, it's time. I mean, even though you have the entire upkeep run out, it also are decaying, right? The hit points. How many hours was it now? But yeah, there's obviously plenty of time to be able to act before you lose the house, especially compared to Ultima Line. 1 week is a little bit too severe. But of course, it's very important that we do our best to inform the players. This is the status. You know, it's time to take some action. We plan to add new types of armors, yes, and weapon groups. And we're going to present those options on an upcoming roadmap, where you will dig in and give us input on what we want to see first. The structure ruins from Sin cannot be rebuilt. That is correct. You have to rebuild it from scratch, if I'm not mistaken. I think so, yes. Right, should we do the giveaway, guys? I'm hitting the 2-hour mark already. So I think it is time. Boomerangs or plastic frisbees as thrown weapon. I want to blast a bandit in the mouth, summer style. Oh my gosh. Boomerang weapon, eh? Okay, we got a few more signing in. Let's give it a few seconds. Javelin. So we have throwing weapons, right? That include javelin, and we have dual weapons. We have fist weapons. We have crossbows. Those are 4 groups that are options to be, you know, voted as upcoming weapon group types. So yeah, we're gonna present those viable options a little bit later when it's time to you know, get your input and plan the final upcoming roadmap. Would you consider adding a captain skill using negotiation to hire mercenaries like in other games such as Conan Exiles and Myth of Empires, also hardcore multiplayer survival games? Captain skills using negotiation to hire mercenaries. I mean, do you mean just hiring NPCs that do your bidding, like pets, or in what case do you mean a little bit more? So I follow exactly what you mean. Javelin can't work with multiples. Please no. What do you mean not work with multiples? Explain yourself, Etik. Not work with multiples. Axe, that is also guitar. What's going on in here now? It's just a different type of tamer. Yeah, that's what I'm asking, you know, if that's what I mean. Using a NPC. It means hiring NPCs like having a bandit veteran companion. So kind of like I assumed, right? Instead of having your dog, you have a NPC following you around, right? That is doable, yes. There's a few areas where this may be, you know, worth content for. You're getting your first NPC services with TC, right? And that can be expanded to also, you know, hire NPCs. So it's absolutely possible. Like the companions in Skyrim. Yeah, I see what I mean. It is possible, yes. It's something that we will have to see where and how it would fit and such. Multiple Sato. I mean, we do see quite a few more than just a great sword, right? But obviously it's also interesting how it slowly changes over time, even though we don't touch the weapons. So people find new eras every now and then. But of course, we try to promote all the different weapon groups to make use of them. And I think they will be extra used a lot more in variation when we implement the Adrenaline special ability system. Because that means every single weapon group will have unique abilities, which will be interesting, tactical, powerful options. So everyone just going with swords means they all have the same abilities, and they may lose out on other contributing abilities that could be a good thing to have as a squad, right? Isn't the point to play with other players more than lean on NPCs? I played Modern 1 for 8 years. In the end, I enjoyed dungeon crawling and picking locks. Is the luck picking skill coming? Will thievery be required to use that skill? Luck picking is coming, yes, and it does tie a little bit with thievery. It's the same category, but we also expand with assassination skills. So there's, I don't know if they're more split up or if they are under the same umbrella, like rogue style, thievery, assassination skill sets to choose from. But yeah, absolutely, that's a big role. People had a lot of fun of it in the first game. We did identify a few issues with it, which we're gonna rebuild and refine before we add them in Mortal Kombat 2. But absolutely, it's quite popular feature set that people are interested in. So we will have it again, and that will be one of the options if we want it early on in the upcoming roadmap. One of the problems with the minigames we implemented, we had a lot of cool ideas and added it successfully, and people enjoyed it. The sad part was that it was completely bypassed after a few months. And that showed us, okay, we invest a lot of time and effort in it, and then it all gets bypassed and abused in a way where, you know, that investment of development got a little bit a waste after that time. So that's why we are a little bit careful this time around when it comes to spending time on mini games. So yeah, that's why we haven't really taken that step currently. More hairstyles. We do have more hairstyles already, but we want to add them in So I said this before. We are planning to have a profession that you can learn, which is you know, how do you call it, barber, right? So you'll be able to learn the different hairstyles, and there will be rare types and specific clade inspired types. And we plan to add more and more of these over time, which means you can discover these rare to more common styles and you can offer them to other players. Which means you could be the first barber in the world that have this unique badass hairstyle or beard style, and you can offer that to someone, and obviously you set the price tag, right? Same thing for tattoo, yes. So that's why, you know, we have you know, we are lacking a lot of variation, right, in when you create a character. But that is because we're here for the long run. We want to offer you something very exciting where you progress your character, you can fine-tune a character in many unique different ways over the years to come. And if we give everything, all those styles and options in the character creation, then obviously there's less option when it comes to these professional traits and discovery and exploration. So yeah, we have a set already finished. We'll have to decide if we want to add them along somewhere, you know, with Epic Games or there again as an option in character creation, or if we just simply wait with them until we deliver the barber profession so you can offer them to players, right? No, I'm touching the mic on the cable under it. It's what's it called? It's like you heard a disturbance sound when I touch it. There's something wrong with it. I would just push it in and it should be good now. Yes, we did choose to pause Thievery until we are 100% sure we have TC and Epic requirements under control. We don't want to panic and do it half good, you know, or risk delays. So it was a given conclusion that, you know, it's safer to pause Thievery for now. There are free trial. I want to try the game. There is no free trial currently. Sometime after Epic Game release, we plan to make Haven possible free to try, but it will be a little while until we are there. Okay, giveaway time. If you just tune in, you have 5 seconds, and then I'm rolling it. Exclamation mark Emma2. So Le Frenchie, type exclamation mark Emma2. If you're lucky, you win the game. How's it going this week, Henrik? It's going good. It's going good. We are still on track. PTR2 is going to be exciting tomorrow. Be sure to be there because we're going to have some really cool system that promotes player conflicts, and you get the full picture of how the defense and siege window system is going to work. And we want a lot of feedback on that and monitoring the data. So yeah, that would be awesome. How do you join the PTR? So there should be a section on the website exactly step by step how you join the PTR. It's fairly simple. We use Steam, so you just go to like what is the properties on the Model Line 2, and there's a beta that you that becomes visible when we enable PTR2. So you just click that and it automatically update the game to PTR2 and you can play. That's it. And then you just turn off the beta when you go back to the live server. So very convenient. When does PTR2 end? So we're planning to do a three days test again if everything goes as planned. So that's what we are aiming for so far. We're still on introduction. Yeah, shit. Sorry. I completely missed it. Okay, giveaway time, guys. Sorry for the delay. Let's go. Let me start it. All right. Good luck, everyone. Boom. Boom. Haven't we posted a time yet? I'm not sure if the same time as before. Okay, let's see who's winning. Henrik Run Fists. Congratulations. You won yourself a copy. So rigged. You guys. Frederick Iron Fists. Frederick Run Fists. Frederick. Alright. Let's see if he's here, guys. Frederick, are you here? Shit, I think he won once already. He's been a winner already once. When was it? Last year. Lucky bastard. Last year I won. Let's see if he's here. Are you here, Frederick? Yes, he seems to be here, right? Yeah, I mean, sure, I could refine the rules as we go when it comes to account rules and so on, but it's tricky to keep track of, right? You know, we're quite generous. We hand out a game copy every stream. I've been doing so for over a year. So, Frederick, if you can respond to my DM as before. And I will give you another mortal copy. Yeah, you did win a long time ago, last year sometime. So, lucky bastard. No, congratulations. I'm just gonna find the key here. Where the hell do we have it? No. Oh my god. Sukuvega. Sukuvega, thank you for the subscription. So, there you go, Frederick. Second round winner. 1 year ago. Congratulations. Awesome to see you are still kicking it in Mortal Online. Indeed. Good luck. You look very pale today, Henrik. Oh my god. My camera is bad, okay? If I doesn't look orange, I look pale, or I look like a kid, or I look like old grandpa. It's always something. I think the camera is a little. I mean, you can see it's a little bit corny, right? It's not the best webcam I have, so you know. I try to get a 10-minute D vitamin shot out in the sun whenever we do have sun here in Sweden. So I'm not that pale actually. It's the light and the camera, I would say. All right. See, depending on my window as well. You see? You see? Get darker and darker. All right. So that was the giveaway. Awesome. Closing that. And we are on the ending note. So guys, we really appreciate... Henrik is dying. We really appreciate you guys helping us out with PTR. Tomorrow is a very important PTR session. Got some very important siege mechanics, window system going in, the defense, the towers. And so we're starting out, as you said, we're gonna show all the towers on the map, and we show obviously the ones you control, but we currently don't show any enemy controlled towers. Looks like the majority of you guys want that to be scoutable and updated. So that means I need to have a meeting with Sebastian to see if we have any decent way of supporting that without having to build a whole new system or interfering with network performance or such. So I will update you guys when we have that meeting or sometime later to see if that's something we could add or if we want to add it later or so. How come you don't like Anthony HD? What? Why wouldn't I like Anthony? What's wrong? Why wouldn't I like Anthony? Is he streaming now? No, he's not. Is he streaming? Is he blacklogged on my stream? No, it's not, right? I don't know why. Why wouldn't? You didn't put him in the vote last time, so I can only put, what is it, 6 or 7. The poll doesn't allow me to put more, so I just randomly put people there, right? If there's a new streamer or anyone that I haven't rated before, I usually do those, right? So it all depends on all of that, right? Anthony's mad because you don't put him on your list. God damn, Anthony, are you here? Are you even streaming? You're not streaming. No, I mean, obviously I can't put all on the poll list because I don't... Tell me if I can put more somehow on the poll. I don't know if I can. If I could, I would put them all there, right? Anthony isn't even here when Henrik needs him most. See? See? He doesn't like me, man. He's not on my stream, man. God damn. But I mean, yeah, if he's streaming regularly, tell him to reach out to Robmo or I guess Robmo could assist when it comes to stream role if something went south there. I don't know why he doesn't have the stream role if that's the case, right? But I'm sure our guys would be able to help. So yeah, very exciting day tomorrow. Again, we appreciate that you can help us and join in. And it's going to be a blast. So again, I also want to remind everyone, feel free to record the game. Make sure you have decent FPS, high resolution textures at least, and low mouse sensitive. If you twitch left and right too crazy, it doesn't fit very well if we want to do a little trailer. And also, sometimes you get so excited that someone goes straight in front of the cameraman or put the horse ass right in the cameraman, and that ruins the shot, sadly. So if you want to be famous and maybe be in our upcoming really awesome trailer for the game that's gonna go global sensation, feel free to send us any video footage, but consider these things I just mentioned as a tip, so it's good content for us to use. There's already quite a few of you guys that have sent up some content for us, so we're going through that. There could be some awesome stuff that we may want to include in our upcoming trailer that present TC stuff. So yeah, we appreciate that if you have the moment, because when you stream, there are some really awesome moments when you do crazy stuff with the TC stuff. So that's really entertaining to watch. And like I said, some of it would be brilliant to have as footage for a possible upcoming trailer. So yeah, consider that when you play around with it, and help us to test the crap out of sieging the mobile machines, elementalism, and the tower system with the defense and all of that. So it's going to be really fun and exciting to follow PTR2 now. So yeah, I guess that's it for now. If you don't have any very specific question before we do a little raid. I know we had some velocity calculation issues with mountain combat before, but I thought that was fixed. So I wonder, when did you hit that bear for 1000 damage nightly gaming? If it's recent or not. How many people do we need to say mountain mages need turning before you actually considering it? And it took 3 or 4 for scouting to get on the list. The problem with the mages balance mounting is that it's so extremely mixed and sensitive. Depending on who you talk to, it's way too OP. If you talk to someone else, it's way underperforming. And someone say, you have to nerf it or we're all gonna quit the game. And someone else say, you have to buff it or no one will play the game as a mage. So it's a very, very difficult, challenged area that is extremely sensitive. And no one agrees on any of those tweaks or changes. So, and when we have that kind of extreme battle and challenge, you know, we don't want to rush into some major changes, because again, we're going to upset at least half of the population by doing so. So we can't just casually change that on the fly. So we're kind of careful. And right now, as you can understand, we're extremely busy with TC and making sure we deliver TC in a good way. There's a few things we have left to do, right? When it comes to tower shields. Mounted mages was called the most OP thing in the game ever a few months ago. Since then, the only balance we've added was a missing component, which was dismounting. You can be dismounted. When that feature got in, it got much more silent in the complaints apartment. So yeah, we need to be careful. Like we can't really focus on such sensitive things when we are extremely busy with TC. So we have to prioritize order of things, as you know. Yeah. All right. Grillo, it's not boring. It's one of the most exciting MMO in all time. It all depends on what the hell you want in the game, right? Such a boring comment you made. Let's see then. Who do we have streaming today? If only had Anthony HD, but nope. All right, let's pick. Let's pick the ones we have then. One moment, guys. One moment. Hustler TV is so rude to me personally. He doesn't like me. He doesn't like the game whenever he talks, that I can't. Sorry, I just can't. If he was a little bit more normal towards me and the game and the community, then maybe I would promote him, right? But you know, I can't promote something that is rude against me, because why would I? Some people have to learn to be a little bit polite and at least pass their criticism in a adult manner, right? But someone can't, and then that's it. No, Grillo, absolutely not. He's absolutely in the minority. I'm always pleasant surprised how nice interaction I have when I jump in the game and the community. I'm really happy and proud, and thank you all guys for being here and making this game even better every single month. So you know, that's why I'm here streaming as well. I would never, if he would represent the community, I wouldn't be here, guys, because it would be impossible. So that's just how it is. All right, let's pick the final ones. Who do we want on the list, guys? Flexi, Ghosten, the Bobby, Sir Bungs, Johnny Blaze. We have 3 spots left. Yeah, I just picked them in order then, shall I? Okay. Please vote, and I will raid. Grillo, I'm not saying that we don't have toxic people. I know we have some toxic people, but I'm very happy that they are minority, and most people can actually complain on things and give criticism and feedback in a rational adult manner and still, you know, be upset or whatever, and that's fine. I can talk with normal people, even upset people. I have no problem whatsoever. But when you just go crazy and start on the edge of making up insanity and stories and rumors and crap, that's where my line goes. I won't support that. You know, if people want to do that crap on their own, then go at it. But I try to put my energy and time on you guys that are at least you know, willing to contribute in one or another way. It can be negative or positive. That's fine, right? We're all, most of us, adult in here. But there's a degree where it's like 0.0001 that can't. And I think he expressed a little bit of that. And, you know, it is what it is. All right? As long as he follow the rules, he can play. That's all, right? Why not give I Hate Henrik a raid? There's no one called I Hate Henrik. I just looked at the list. Are you trolling, you mofo? Or did someone just start streaming? Look who showed up when it was too late. Anthony. Oh well, we have upcoming weeks, right? So let's see, who won? Was it Will Be Live, right? Where the hell did my vote go? Yeah, Will Be Live. All right. Yeah, he's a really cool guy. Quite new to the game, right? But getting into it, and it seems really nice. So show him some support and some mortal knowledge skills. Right. Let's make the raid. If not toxic on Mortal 9, you are sheep waiting to breed. No, come on. Now I think you kind of missed half the point what Mortal 9 is. Mortal 9 is not meant to be a toxic community where you have to be a toxic player. Then you completely miss the entire point. If you go to the website and read up about the game, you will see that this is a true sandbox, and it will cater for all playstyles, including some toxic people, just like there are toxic people in World of Warcraft. Doesn't matter. It doesn't mean that we are making a game for that. You know, that's just silly, right? But like I said, any online game will always have a fair share of toxic behavior, and you know, we have less toxic people than World of Warcraft because they have so many more people. It's just simple math. Anyway, I'm sure most people know that already. Let's see if we can pass the raid now. So everyone, I want to thank you all for joining in today and all of your questions, and yeah, always awesome to hang out with you guys. Tomorrow, very important day, PTR 2. Hopefully everything will run fairly smooth, so we still can be on track for PTR 3. Yeah, thank you all for donation and subscription and all of that support. It does make a difference, and we really appreciate you guys being here, and we appreciate all of your support. Let's join in on Will Be Live then and give him some support as well. Thank you all guys, you are awesome, and I will see you soon again. And here goes the raid. Have a good night, and I see you soon. Bye bye. Did it work? Did my raid work or not? I think it did, right? Yes. No? Didn't it work? Did my raid not work, Laurel? What the hell? I see people join in there. I don't see what the hell is going on. Should I try the raid one more time? Sometimes it behaves oddly. It seems to send some people. Alright. I'll try one more. It looks like most of the people got over. Thank you all, and good night then.